Hi, I'm Song, and I'm a globalist who wants to inspire the world through movement, media, and mentality. I was doing a workshop tour in Korea, but when they knew that I was going to be in Korea, they said, hey, this works out perfectly with our timing. Do you want to be a guest judge on Stritmanfighter? And I was like, heck yeah! As a result of that, it's been really hard to judge because everybody is so talented. It's not just purely based on dance for these contestants, and you can see which crews are utilizing every tool at hand to do well on the show. Bums Up is interesting because they weren't a crew before the show. It's quite challenging to build chemistry in such a short amount of time and compete against other crews who also had maybe over a decade of experience together. Stritwomanfighter has innovated, quite honestly, is by kind of turning into a reality show and filming everything and also kind of creating situations that can kind of stir up drama as well. It allows the audience to connect with the dancers in a way that dance shows have never done before.
You're a great dancer, obviously. I saw the video you made with your mother. That was so sweet.
Yeah.
Your mother is a good dancer. I'm sure
she
she's
is.
telling people, he gets it from me.
Oh, she's saying it all the time, for sure.
But did you always know that dancing was going to be your life?
Definitely not. I always kind of liked dancing by myself, but I never thought that I could have never seen myself dancing as like my future career for sure. But then, I started dancing a little bit in church in middle school, but still very, very casual. And it wasn't until high school that I got serious about it.
There's definitely something that you've always had, I think, probably. But, you know, we know your fame from Kinjaz, your dance crew.
Yeah.
Okay, what does Kinjaz mean?
Okay, so if you break down the word, okay?
Yeah.
Kin is the most important component, right?
Okay.
I have it on my finger actually. I have a tattoo that says kin.
Kin.
And so kin is the Latin root word for movement, like kinetic, right? But kin also means family.
Yeah.
And so think family of movement ninjas. Because we're like ninjas.
Oh, that
Put it
was
all
cool.
together.
Yeah. So how did Kinjaz start?
I started the crew with Anthony Lee, my roommate in college. We went to UC Irvine, and we were both dancers. Our last year of college, we decided to do a last performance. So we kind of took a lot of like all-stars from every crew, and we're like, hey, let's just do like a one-time performance. But with that performance, we got a standing ovation, and it was such a shock to us that we're like, hey, maybe we should keep this thing going. And so it started very casual, and I would say for the first 3 to 4 years, it stayed very casual, just performances here and there.
Did you name yourself Kinjaz at the time?
No,
or
so
that was just
our first name was Onbu Black Ops.
what?
Yeah. So there's this anime called Naruto, right?
Okay.
It's a huge anime, one of the world's biggest animes,
Yeah.
and that's like my favorite anime. And Onbu Black Ops is a reference. It's the ninjas in Naruto, right?
Okay.
And that was the first name. And then a couple years in, we decided, a lot of us had been professionally working as dancers just traveling around the world already. But we were like, okay, what if we were to like join forces and like build a brand that's like bigger than any one of us individually? And so once we started thinking about that and really brainstorming what it would take to create a whole lifestyle brand and something that can live beyond us, yeah, we started taking it more seriously, and we didn't just take in dancers. That's when we started getting our videographers as well, and really realizing that to build a proper company, it wasn't just about the dance, like it was the whole media, the design aspect, and just...
it's the building of the brand type of thing.
Yeah.
But that brand really took off. You were recognized by American dance competitions. Obviously, you weren't the first dance crew to make it onto the global stage, but what made your crew so unique?
I think we were very thoughtful and strategic about how we wanted to craft like our entire identity, even off stage. I think through our artistry, number one, I think it was our choreography that helped us stand out, because we had a unique style of choreography. We're kind of like an all-star crew where we took a lot of the people that we respect and we just brought them all under one roof, and we kind of know like, oh, this project will suit your strengths better. And then on the other end, I think our experience had also shown us that we started thinking about how to present ourselves, not just on stage, but how do we present ourselves off stage? What is the entire brand? What is true to us? And how can we reflect that in every aspect of our brand, whether it's the design, whether it's the way our events feel, or whether it's the editing, our videos, like everything was very thoughtful. And I think that's something that really spoke to at least our fan base and our audience,
And then collaborations with big stars. Tell us some of your big clients and big collaborative partners.
Yeah, and so we work with Justin Bieber, Jackson Wang. We did a lot of K-pop work, like GOT7, Super M, right now Treasure and Baby Monster. But I think something that's unique about Kinjaz is there's one aspect of us where we work as like behind the scenes choreographers, right? Because we're not really like branded as Kinjaz when we do that type of work, right? We can, but on the other end, we can wear another hat, and we're working with like a lot of video games, and so we do a lot of choreography for League of Legends and Fortnite and 2K, and so we're creating dances for those video games as well. From like a performance aspect, like as the Kinjaz, like we've performed at Coachella on the main stage, like without a musical artist. I think we're actually the first crew to perform just as a dance crew on the main stage at Coachella. And so there's like a performance side of us, but then on another end, there's like a producer side of us, where we've done a lot of collaborations with a lot of streetwear brands and toy brands. We did a BearBrick collaboration. I would say one of our biggest collaborations we've ever done is we collaborated on a sneaker with Nike.
Really?
Yeah, called the Air Sesh. Yeah.
So what happened there?
So this is it's a sneaker, a performance sneaker designed specifically for dancers. And so we consulted on that shoe with Tinker Hatfield, who's the head designer at Nike.
Okay.
And that was, I would say, like one of a huge highlight in our journey for sure. Yeah.
So you collaborated in designing.
Designing, and
because you guys are dancers yourself.
Yeah.
But then also in the promotion and
Yeah.
the video for
sure.
the shoe itself.
Yeah.
You talked about some of the recent K-pop stars, but so you've worked with a number of them for a number of years.
Yeah.
What's this current generation of K-pop stars like to work with?
I would say, our process is that we're still just in LA and we are creating the choreography and sending the video to Korea, right? And so oftentimes, a majority of the artists that we choreograph for, we never end up meeting.
Oh, really?
We'll put on their name as a name tag.
And of course the music and everything.
And we create the whole structure of the performance and then we send off the video and then we see it a couple months later as the members doing our choreography, obviously. But it's...
How does it feel seeing your creation being performed?
I would say something that's different about this generation of K-pop and choreographing for it is that in prior generations, we would see our choreography being performed. But now, what a lot of labels do is they'll take choreography from several different teams for one song, and then at the label, they kind of Frankenstein all the different choreographies together. And so when we see it come out, we'll be like, oh, there's a couple moves of ours, and then a couple moves of somebody else's. And then for a while, we won't see any of our choreography. And then it'll come back again. And so now we're not really seeing the original pictures that we drew because the labels, I think, it's grown, there's so much more demand for the dance now. And I think that's obviously built their production budgets so that they're hiring a bunch of options. Wow. They're getting all the options and then they're putting it all into a giant mishmash.
Okay, does that mean it's necessarily better?
On our end, of course, we're making certain decisions where we wouldn't have made that decision if we knew that a different choreography is happening afterwards. However, if I'm in the label's position, I would want more control as well. So I understand why, but it's a big difference of K-pop choreography of this generation.
I guess it's sort of the way that K-pop has now progressed and how big it's become.
Yeah.
Do you feel that as a choreographer, obviously in this kind of format, but even as a Korean native performer, do you see the way that K-pop has sort of changed the scene of pop?
Oh yeah, K-pop has changed. I mean, as far as dance goes, I think because K-pop has put such an emphasis on dance performance, like that is like one of the top tier prerequisites, right? I feel like it's done a lot for dance because it's just given a lot of commercial support, straight up, right? Yeah. Because of all that support, it's attributed to the livelihood of dancers all around the world, right? Because it's not just for Korean dancers; they're hiring dancers from everywhere, right?
True.
Like us, like video submissions and whatnot. And so, not only is it providing so much work for dancers, but I think because they have the mega platform to showcase dance, I think they are, in a lot of ways, keeping a lot of versions of dance relevant, even. And so I think K-pop is huge when it comes to choreography, specifically like pop, hip-hop, mixed genre type choreography. Yeah, K-pop is a crucial element to the culture, for sure.
Despite the huge support that K-pop has given to dance and choreographers, they're still a long ways from being really recognized for their work as compared to actors and singers.
Yeah, I think a lot of progress has been made for sure. But I think, there still hasn't been I think the major difference is you're definitely seeing so many more famous dancers and brands more than ever. And so I feel like we're in a golden era for dance as far as that goes. However, I think the difference with, actors or musicians is that there's still, like I'd mentioned before, this relatability storytelling component, I think hasn't been, it's like a code that hasn't been cracked yet, right? Where you're still not able to, the only way you get to interact with dancers is through their dance performance, right? And I think the component of speaking is it's so different and so important. And so I think that's one aspect. And I think the other aspect is that dance is always tied to music. Yeah. And because it's always tied to music, there's always this component of ownership even, right? Yeah. And so I think that is the other piece of the puzzle.
I was just thinking, with songs, with music, singers have their intellectual property rights of their songs.
Exactly.
Dancers, in terms of their movements, do they have?
Exactly. So there's all these issues and I think these are the things that are getting solved in this golden era right now. And which is why I lean so much to the storytelling is because I know that there's so many issues with content ownership because it's always going to be tied to music.
Yeah.
And even with choreography, IP ownership, which are conversations and people are working on that right now. For me, I feel like the key to the puzzle for expanding dance careers and as a whole ecosystem lies more in the storytelling and being able to connect with an audience on a deeper level beyond the dance.
So the dance has to sort of be connected with a story. But you are trying to move this forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
In terms of what you do, but you also have educational institute. Is the Kinjaz Dojo?
Yeah, so it's all online
Tell us
program
about,
now.
yeah,
everything's
tell us about
online.
Kinjaz Dojo.
Yeah, so that's everything online. It's very casual at this point, and so we have an online app. And so it's a monthly subscription, right? And so that's everything in there is just we have tutorials in there, but we also have conversations where we have conversations like this actually. And so this is all for like our own built-in community, again, for those who are fans and anybody who wants to have a deeper relationship with us, obviously.
Well, I mean, you've obviously done a lot. Of course, 스트릿우먼파이터 is still in your future. But what else do you aspire to do?
And so I would say for us is developing whatever that storytelling is. So I think there's a fictional component to it, but we also want to work on I don't want to give away too much, but there is a component of a fictional story show that we're currently developing. And then on the other end, it's also thinking about, but how can we also do this on a real level where it has nothing to do with fiction and it is literally just allowing people to get to know the dancers. And now I think we're at a point where more context with Kinjaz is we're all kind of shifting in the generation where now we have like a younger generation of members as well. A lot of our students are now some of the members on stage right now. And so we're kind of shifting to like pass it on to that next generation to where we are trying to solve these problems so that the younger generation can just focus on the dance, focus on the artistry. I felt like, obviously I've spoken so much about like this IP and brand components, but I'm doing that because I know that, with our company, and I know that there's so many amazing artists around the world where the art is in good hands.
Yeah.
But in order for that to stay alive, these engines need to be developed, further developed.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the structure, infrastructure has to be there in order for that creativity to continue.
Yeah, to just flourish, yeah.
Thank you so much. Come back and visit us.
All right, I'd love to. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And that's it for me. I'll be back next week with another globalist who's putting Korea on the map. Sunji out.